Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, and welcome to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. How is everybody doing out there? I am Brandon Alvarado, the Scarlet Fan here, and as usual, I am accompanied by the one, the only, the mad hero, Isaac Wolf. What's up, dude?
One, two, three, or one, two, three. Hello, motherfuckers!
Wow, that's a hell of a way to start a live stream. At least that's one way to do it. Okay. How's everybody doing out there, Isaac? I'm excited to talk anime and enjoy the big show. We got a great show planned for you guys today. Isaac, are you ready?
Yes, I'm always ready. Even when
Awesome.
I'm tired and exhausted, which I
Uh,
am right now.
I mean, which is always, maybe,
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah.
possibly.
And I'm also a bit bonkers due to other reasons, but that's besides the point.
Are you sure it's besides the point? You sure it's not just like the point?
It's always the point.
It is a point upon point before the points, and then you take the point and you round it out with another point, and then there's this point, and should I stop? I should stop, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna stop. So we are live. Welcome to the big show, guys. We have a great show planned for you today. Tonight, we're going back to My Hero Academia season 6. We have a special topic to discuss about the future of animation and anime. And also, we are covering Spy Family. So we have a big show for you guys today. We're very excited to start off with the ground running. If you love what we do here at the Amateur Otaku, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you click on that like button and make sure you click on the bell for notifications so you don't miss any of the live streams. We stream every Sunday and put out content throughout the week, every single week. Awesome anime goodness and thoughts. If you want to follow us on the news feed, on the social medias, you can find us on Twitter at Amateur Otaku Pod. You can find us, like us, follow us, so you can stay in tune of everything that we're doing every single week. We have crazy anime conversations, weird polls like the one we have going on right now, and awesome announcements of everything that we're going to be doing every single week. As you guys know, we're excited because the fall season has finally arrived. My Hero, Chainsaw Man, Bleach, a bunch of stuff is coming out, and we'll do the best we can to cover it all. But I think we should get started with the thing that we came in to do, which, of course, the second episode of the great triumphant return of My Hero Academia has come out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk My Hero Academia. What do you think, Isaac? Wow, that's a lot of thoughts. I appreciate you letting us know how you feel about covering My Hero Academia. But guys, while Isaac returns,
Oh, sorry, I didn't. I thought I wasn't muted, but yeah, let's go to My Hero Academia.
woohoo!
Great ties save lives, as Mike says.
So, shout out to Mike, the novice cinephile. So, guys, this episode is episode 15, titled Mirko the Thigh Hero. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not the name of this week's episode. It is episode 115, Mirko the number 5 hero. I mean, first of all, what a phenomenal episode of My Hero Academia. Second of all, what a great way to name the episode and to showcase this character. I mean, up to this point, we really haven't seen Mirko in action, right? We've seen little bits and pieces. We saw a little bit on in the fight where Endeavor was fighting the High End Nomu, like towards the end of it, right? Was she there during the whole overhaul thing? I don't remember. Was she there?
Like I said off air with you and Mike, it was ages ago that I read a war arc. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I'm not talking about the war arc. I'm talking about overhaul. That like a season ago or 2 seasons ago.
I
What she?
don't recall her being in the
Yeah,
last
I don't think she
season.
was there. Yeah, I think the one that was the female hero that was most prominent during the whole overhaul attack was Ryuki, the dragon hero, right? The one that always trains with, the one that's been training Uruhara.
Fairly certain, yes.
Yeah, I think that's the one. because I know she has a big role towards the end, before Deku goes Super Saiyan. He literally pulls a Gohan at the end of that arc, which, by the way, is awesome. But yeah, so great episode. Mirko is front and center. It is an episode that is showing us why she's the number 5 hero, why she is awesome, why a lot of people enjoy this character, and boy, does Mirko kick ass. Isaac, you saw this episode. Is like you, we've read the book, and it's been a while since we've read the book. And how did you feel finally seeing her kick ass and take down these Nomu?
I mean, love me some ferocious ladies that knows how to handle themselves. And
Yeah,
what can I say? Great highs save lives, and she's a badass.
I do want to illustrate something very important here. I do find it interesting and hilarious that I think it was maybe during this week when they were starting to talk about the leaks, or at least as soon as the episode came out, Mike was saying that that apparently some people took pictures of how Mirko's thighs feel strengthened whenever, like, there's like a zoom in into how many muscles she has on her legs.
Yeah, Bone seems to love them, so.
I mean, I can't really say that it's wrong or inappropriate, because at the end of the day, she is the bunny hero. That's who she is. So she is I mean, it's all legs. But I do like the fact that she's kind of like a Street Fighter character. I kind of get that feeling from that character.
I wouldn't be surprised if, sure, Chun-Li isn't like that. From what I've gathered, I'm not that big into Street Fighter, but
Yeah.
the way she fight with her legs and all that, yes, I wouldn't be surprised if he has taken some inspiration with her, or
Yeah.
isn't there
Yeah.
some other Street Fighter character that fights with legs?
There's Yuri. Yuri, she's like the evil kickbox or Muay Thai fighter. She's also a female, and she's very badass. She does a lot of like grip attacks with her legs. She's very difficult to use, but she's actually super awesome.
Yo, Mike.
But yeah, Yuri is one of them. Chun-Li is another. King of Fighters has Kim, I think is the name of that character. And it's all like, I just like the fact that because of the way she's fighting, which is very brutal, very physical, very martial artsy, all her moves feel like Street Fighter moves. Like, you know what I mean? Like everything that Endeavor does, Endeavor just reminds me of a Pokemon. You know what I mean? Oh wait, Mike actually. Yo,
Yeah.
see,
I am here.
I am trying to run a show, and then you do this. You're amazing.
I couldn't miss this episode. Mirko just came to play, man.
I mean, it looks like you did too. So, but but yeah, man, she definitely did. She is awesome. What I love about her as a character is her relentlessness, and how she carries herself. Like, she's definitely the hero that's do or die.
Agreed, Patrick.
She's that do or die character that I truly love and enjoy. And the reason I say do or die is because I don't think we've met a hero that is so ready to give her life. I mean, we've seen it, but to be so vocal and aggressive about it, I don't think we've met a hero like her. Like, I feel that this is the first time that we meet a hero that has this oomph to her, that to the point that we see her literally lose an arm and not even flinch until she took down the enemy. And I love that line when she goes, like, hey, if we die together, that's when we die. It was just badass.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to Patrick's comment here, about how they adapted her fight scene in this episode right from the manga. Last week we were talking about how 3 chapters per episode is the perfect pacing for MHA.
Yeah.
We landed perfectly 3 chapters again, minus one specific moment that leads into next week's episode, which they kind of cut. But
Yeah.
I love, like, this episode had quite a bit of filler in it. If you guys go back and read the chapters that it adapts, 61, 62, and 63, I believe, Mirko gets more action in the anime than she did in the manga, which I think is fantastic, just showing her raw power.
And very deliberate.
Right, and tenacity, right? Because we see her taking down these Nomu, and like you said, seeing her lose her arm in a way that I feel is more graphic in the anime than the manga, which I don't know how Bones got away with that. It's crazy. But just her sheer will is incredible to see, and, you know, Mirko is one of my favorite characters in My Hero Academia. She comes in fairly late into the story, but once she arrives, you get it. And I love how you started like listing all of these other characters that she's similar to. Street Fighter with Chun-Li. That's all I think of. Like I said last week, thick thighs save lives.
True. And Patrick, I have to agree with you because that was all I was thinking about when I saw the preview, and all I can think about is, oh no, next episode is when they do the thing, and like. And I think that comment that Patrick just shared with us, right? The idea that of what's coming between Hawks and Twice, and also what we see with Mirko's arm, I think it's kind of a testament of how different of a show My Hero is becoming and will become. Because us that know the books and read the books, we know what's coming, and we know there's a lot of shifts in tone and story and direction, and a lot of characters, you know, things are going to happen. But I love how the show is taking the visual format to expand and add depth. And we've always talked about this in Attack on Titan, right? Like Isayama has gone out of his way because he's actually said it in interviews that Attack on Titan is his, on the anime specifically, is his final or perfect final say when it comes to the definitive edition of Attack on Titan, right? That's the anime is Isayama's director's cut, to say. And a lot of the stuff that he's added, the reorganization of scenes, taking things from future scenes and putting them early, like, brings so much depth to the story. And I love the fact that with this, because you got to think about it, it's a 23-minute episode, and at least 15 minutes is Mirko. So more than half. And I feel that I know her. And I just, like, I'm buying a shirt tomorrow. I'm walking on the street. Like, you know what I mean? You have that feeling, dude, like, and it's funny because you kind of also get in the same energy. Like, she's a character full of energy, and the voice actor is just having a blast with this role because I can kind of feel the energy just coming through the performance. You know what I mean? Like even when her arm goes out, you don't really freak out. You're like, oh, but she's still going, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there are 3 characters I feel like in MHA that have that presence, right? Where at the moment you're introduced to them, you're like, oh boy, you command every scene you're in.
Yep.
That's Lemillion, Mirko, and when we first meet Shoto.
Yep.
And yeah, you know, it's insane how much they did with her in this one episode. Well, technically 1.5, because we did kind of meet her last week. But not only that, the development we did for Denki Kaminari, right? Like,
bro,
what they did with Kaminari, and not just that, but his relationship with Jiro and Midnight, again, stepping in to encourage her students, I thought was so well done. And then they threw in some extra filler with Deku and his gang, which was nice because if you read the manga, Deku's not in those 3 chapters that are adapted for this episode. So you go a little bit without seeing him. So I thought they kind of, considering it's MHA, there was a nice amount of filler that they kind of snuck in here, but it all works perfectly.
I'm glad that you used the word filler, because the interesting thing about it is that they're using filler for what it should be, connective tissue.
Right.
That's the best filler that works, which is why when I when I see Naruto, right, and a lot of people complain of how much, because trust me, if an anime has filler, it's Naruto. Oh, and by the way, let's check the box. We're speaking of Naruto in another episode. Like Naruto,
Didn't Boruto have like 76% filler?
well, here's the thing, it's still ongoing, so we can't really say. But
As of right now,
As of right now, it is over 70% filler, correct?
possibly, yes. Now, what I'm trying to say is that Naruto, at least 70%, was expanding some character story in a way, as opposed to just being a filler for the sake of filler. Which is why I like this, because they're doing the Infinity War thing, where, you know how last week I talked about this being like the biggest event that we've had in the book, right? In the show. So they're doing the thing where, okay, we got to do little things here and there to make sure that people know Patrick is in tune, man. But like, they're doing the thing where they're making sure that you have enough so that when a character returns on screen, it still feels like they're part of the story. They don't feel like they're coming out of nowhere, you know, which is the danger that you run into when you have, I don't know, every single character you've created for the show in the same scene. Like, so yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
For sure.
I'm glad that you mentioned the Kaminari stuff, though. Like, Isaac, I want to ask you a question. I know that you wanted to be that Nomu that Mirko destroyed with her thighs, but
don't we all?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, honestly. It's a good way to die.
Especially when it flexes. So
I mean, there is a reason why I have the poll right now, which you all can vote for, which is who would you prefer to be stepped on, Mirko or Jor?
yes.
We're going to have that poll up for the rest of the stream, so we are going to talk about it, or should I say mention it in the next one, to see who won.
Yeah, agreed. Now the whole other thing also is with the Kaminari stuff. I personally forgot. I either forgot or that's not in the book. Mike, you're my expert. Is that in the book?
100%. Everything we see from Midnight, Jiro, Kaminari, and Edshot are in the manga.
So, but I love the fact that I forgot that was there. But it hit so hard. It was so great. Like, the emotion was there. And of course, what did they do as soon as he comes into the realization? They do the thing. They press play. And they do My Hero theme. Now, here's the thing, though. Normally, when we hear that theme, it's because someone is going to do the thing. Which I love the fact that that's become a staple of the show throughout the seasons. But the reason I love that moment the most is because I love seeing those little bits of development with these side characters. Because one of the things that we've talked about for the last two seasons, which is normal, because, for example, we have a lot of characters within MHA and Class 1A that their story has already run their course. Like, for example, Lita's story peaked with Stain. And that was just the way that character was written, right? To a degree. So there's other... And now the whole thing with... The thing we saw with Tokoyami with his training with Hawks, that's another moment where his story peaked. But he has more to go because there's a lot more coming. But the fact that we get that little bit of development and growth with Kaminari and Jiro and specifically Kaminari, it was just great. It was just great. And I love how he's no longer playing the Mineta card. Now he's saying, guys, I have a hero name and I can do something.
Very, very true. I agree. It's just a fantastic moment for him, especially since he's a character who doesn't get a lot of shine. Like he's around and relevant to the story because of his friendship with Kirishima and Bakugo.
Right.
But you notice he's separate from both Kirishima and Bakugo, which I think was a great touch and the push he needed, because it's easy to be strong when you're being compared to Kachan and Kirishima. But having him on his own, having also his relationship with Tokoyami be part of that push, and Midnight giving him that encouragement to give us a pretty badass moment when you think about it, right? Because we have this big bad villain trying to electrocute the entire battlefield, and he just absorbs it. Amazing. And he didn't go dumb yet, at least. He didn't go dumb, which by itself for Kaminari is a big deal.
And the fact that you can see him enjoying being the hero for once, you know, like that's to me as soon as I heard, and it's like the music guys are playing with me, because as soon as that they hit play on that, my heartstrings just went, why are you doing this to me? So emotional, so powerful. But I also like the fact that Kaminari now has a personal stake, and I love how they're able to introduce personal stakes like that to other characters that are not the main characters, because it allows the world to breathe and grow. And I love how Patrick said it, because in this arc shines because of this, because it allows a lot of different characters that we spent either very little time with or a lot of time with to grow and shine in different directions. Because this is the kind of show, which again, I go back to the Crisis. This is Crisis on Infinite Academia. Like, I'm going to coin that.
My Infinite Crisis.
I would rather call it my Mirko Academia with this episode.
You know,
sorry, Shiba reviews, but you have a point, yeah.
But yeah, so the way Patrick says it, every character is growing, and because if we see these side characters grow, then that means that the world is growing, and I want to see that world, and I'm excited with what they're doing so far. I don't know, guys. It's 5 out of 5 on these 2 episodes. I mean, I don't think we can ask for more. It's been awesome.
I'm gonna be real. These first 2 episodes are better than the entirety of last season already.
Great.
I'm gonna drink again. I'm gonna sip a little bit of coffee and.
Then again, no, I'm not going there.
Now, can we talk? Can we talk about how the entirety of the show pretty much got a facelift also, because they completely redesigned also the preview screens, and they completely redesigned the commercial screens, because we never had them like that. It used to be for 5 years. It was like the very simple one with the My Hero Academia logo forming and then going away. Yeah. Now it literally became Who's That Pokemon, but it looks great.
You know, I'm just glad they don't feel the need to tell me who everybody's quirk is. Like, you don't need to explain what Explosion is after, 100 episodes? We're on episode 115. I don't need you telling me quirk, frog. She has the abilities of a frog. I get it. I understand. So I'm glad that they changed it and they went with like, hey, Mirko's dope. This is what she looks like. Let's get back to the episode. I would have preferred, like, if they wanted to go that route, with the old cards, there would be actual information, like Attack on Titan would give us actual like lore tidbits during theirs. Yeah. So if they could explain how Hero Society works, how support items work, if they actually used it to flesh out the world, I'd be cool with it. But I feel like if we need to have any like flashcards, essentially, having cool comic book covers is better than you talking down to me like I'm 2.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, I think that's what sells those in-between moments, right? Because it is high-end, super awesome poster-worthy stills, right? As opposed to just the face, like they're taking their passport picture at Walgreens, right? Which is what we had before. Isaac, do you like the changes that they've done to the show? Those little things here and there? You are muted, my friend. You might want to. So while he returns, Patrick says something very interesting, which I want to bring to the plan here. And Patrick, I really love your emphasis on paying attention. You're awesome, because this is one of those things that we spoke about when we covered the entertainment district arc of Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, which you guys can find in our channel on our playlist. We did cover that entirety arc, and one of the things that we noticed that was very interesting that we really enjoyed because it really helped the pacing of the story and the concentration of the action. Is the fact that they actually took the liberty to make the episodes as long as they wanted them. The first episode was like 40 minutes, then it went to regular length, and then the last episode was longer than all the others. And that actually helped the flow of the story and the build up because it kind of invited us back into the world and then allowed us to leave slowly after, right? After the turmoil that we found at the end of that arc, which by the way, that arc was just phenomenal. Which in my mind, if they were going to do Mugen Train, they should have done it like a limited series with fewer episodes if they were going to translate it into a show. That's my take.
Amen.
Which they didn't do, which, I don't know. But yeah, that's a great point.
At least it wasn't as low budget as the Dragon Ball Super Battle of Gods retelling of the movie when anime came back.
I'm just so proud that Isaac mentioned the budget of something again. He has no fear anymore. You know, I thought the PTSD was going to kick in.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is superhero anime, so it's in tune with Avengers. So, you know.
Here it wasn't talk about budget. It was just that Toei Animation was lazy with its retelling. That's all.
Yeah. Now, do you guys think that Patrick has a point? What do you think? You think it would have benefited from having a longer first episode and then moving forward? How do you guys feel about that?
So I agree. It would have been better served as like a good 40-minute premiere, simply because the end of the last episode starts with it has Mirko chasing the doctor, and then she's already doing it. So we might as well either float that to this episode, which would have been bad because I would have ruined the pacing of the first one, or have them combine into one big premiere. But I'm not going to complain. What's up, Leo?
What's up, Leo?
Simply because My Hero always starts with a stupid filler episode, so I'll take what I can get.
Right. And also, I wonder, Isaac, you go, and then I'll go.
All I'm saying that no, but the only I can agree with Patrick on that one. Yes.
So my only concern, which again, I just said how amazing it was when Demon Slayer did it. What I wonder is, would we still get the Mirko action scenes that would have gotten? Or would we have enjoyed it the same way if it was just one episode? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder how the pacing would have been affected. I don't think it would have been affected that much, but at the same time, that's why it worked with me, because it was the perfect cliffhanger in episode 1, and episode 2 didn't waste time. It picked up right where we left off. So it was a good way, like for a premiere. It was the right amount of cliffhanger and suspense to then start an amazing second episode. But at the same time, if we were going to do a connected episode or do a bigger first episode, it could have worked if all the episodes were bigger. Does that make sense? I kind of at that point I wanted to just pull a Game of Thrones and do like 50-minute episodes throughout, because to think about it, this arc would actually benefit from that structure. Yeah. Does that make sense?
For sure. Patrick's comment here does make me laugh. It's like, they could have did a Kaguya-sama where they just dropped both episodes in 1 week. That way they would have kept the exact same flow, but we could have kind of binged it instead of having them be a week apart. But, you know, it doesn't bother me either way, because, again, these 2 episodes blow season 5 out of the water.
True. But I actually, it just got in. From the field, I just got an answer from Crunchyroll. The reason we could not get to a 40-minute episode is because we couldn't handle the thighs.
Yeah, that would have been. We would have OD'd. Isaac would not have made it for the show the next day.
I have no shame.
If you have no shame, how less of a shame do I have?
Oh,
Negative
buddy.
5.
I don't know why, but now I need to make a meme with Jack Nicholson from A Few Good Men. You can't handle the thighs.
Jesus.
It's happening.
This is a show about teenagers in high school. What has happened?
I mean, look at
They
Midnight.
introduced the pros, and everything goes off the rails.
Yes.
You know how I am, and like I said, I'm worse than usual right now, Mike.
Yep.
Yeah, Class A versus Class B. It had some fun moments. I like the Bakugo episode, but
Yeah.
Black Whip is cool. Like that'll always be a dope moment. But
Yes.
oh god, the pacing gets bogged down in the second half.
Yeah. And the Bakugo episode is pretty awesome. I gotta say.
Amen.
So guys, have we said our fill? Oh my god. The thigh hero. It's here. So guys, I think we've said our fill on My Hero Academia. I mean, 2 home runs worth of episodes. It's been amazing. I can't wait for the next week's episode. As you guys know, next week we start our coverage on Chainsaw Man and Bleach. So there will be no My Hero coverage next week because we're starting the coverage of My Hero and Bleach, and then we go into a bi-weekly schedule where one Sunday we do Chainsaw Man and Bleach, and the other Sunday we do My Hero and Spy Family. And
Leo gets
Isaac, this is what you cause. Which, by the way, Leo is a brilliant man.
Leo, you are as much slack I gave you about One Piece, I will give you this one. You are a man of culture because of this comment. I'm proud of you, bro.
This is so bad.
Let's move on, shall we?
Woof woof. So those that know. But yes, we're gonna start our coverage of Chainsaw Man and Bleach next week, and then the following Sunday we go back to My Hero Academia and Spy Family. Guys, if you enjoy our coverage of My Hero Academia, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and click on the bell for notifications so you don't miss any streams. If you've missed any episodes, don't worry, because we upload our coverage every single week in separate videos, so it's more digestible chunks, so you'll never miss any of the coverage. And sometimes when we have other stuff to cover, like the My Hero manga, which for some reason decided to drop tomorrow, we'll be covering that this week and putting it up on this channel so you guys know our thoughts about it. So,
Woof.
oh my God. So before we go on the 60-second break so we can go to the next part of the show, if you guys have not seen Spy Family, this is the moment when you guys can head out. And once you get caught up, you can look it up in the channel and enjoy it. So for those that are leaving, Isaac, let them know where they can find you.
Well, you can find my work at Woven Entertainment, and you can find me over at Emblemaniac on Twitter. And I'm less what's it called, NSFW than I am here. So don't you worry about following me there.
And that was wow, Mike. Where can people
had to put up a disclaimer?
Wow,
Not as horny on Maine. Okay.
Where can people find you, my man?
I'm from Sweden. Give me a break.
Yeah. Jeez. You can find me at Novice Cinephile everywhere, specifically Twitter and YouTube.com/Novice Cinephile. Did a video on Naruto for its 20th anniversary. That might be something that this audience is interested in. If you want to check that out,
it's a great video, guys.
I'm going to perform some Shadow Clone Jutsu for the Spy Family episode and a substitution jutsu. You'll see in a second. Bye.
Awesome. So, Mike, make sure you add the link to the description for that Naruto video because it was pretty awesome.
Believe it.
Yeah. And you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52, and you can find the pod at Amateur Otaku Pod. Guys, we'll see you in a bit. We'll be back with Spy Family. See you soon.
Have an awesome, Patrick.
Boom, bada, boom, boom. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, and welcome back to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. I'm Brandon Alvarado, Scalar fan. I'm here with my good friend Isaac Wolf. What is up, man?
Insert Jack Black quote here. I don't know.
Uh, wow. I mean, he was great as Bowser, but we'll talk about that another day. Guys, welcome back to the Amateur Otaku Podcast. If you like what we do, make sure you subscribe, click on the like button, and click on the bell for notifications. We are very excited. We'll see you next time, Patrick. Thank you for joining us during the My Hero Place. We just covered My Hero. Now we're ready to go to the next part of the show where we have a very particular topic that we want to talk real quick. And we have a great friend of the show, of the pod, that has decided to join us tonight. And we want to welcome her. Jamie, what is up?
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm super happy to be here and excited to get to some of these topics.
Well, I'm going to say yes to Mike. I think it did. Awesome. Jamie, I'm really excited for you to join us tonight. We heard that you're a big fan of Spy Family, and we're going to be talking a lot about that a little bit later. Now, guys, I have a particular topic, and I noticed it. Isaac sent me something earlier this week. I'm a big fan of Gundam. And I build Gundams sometimes in my spare time. And he sent me the trailer or the opening for Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch of Mercury, which is the new series that's coming out, which looks amazing with what looks like a very interesting female lead, and the animation looks great. Now, as animation continues to evolve. One of the things that I found very interesting is how much is changing or how much in the different directions animation is going, specifically for anime. And I was wondering, do you guys have a preference when it comes to the type of anime that you watch? Do you prefer a certain type of animation? Because there's three big types of animation that we're seeing now more than anything. And it's like we see a lot of drawn animation with very deliberate CGI additions and stuff like that. We also see animation with very light CGI effects to like enhance color and stuff like that. And then we see animation that is straight up CGI from start to finish. Jamie, I wanted to start with you. I don't know how much anime you watch. Hopefully a lot. If not a lot, at least you've seen enough to see different kinds of animation styles and stuff like that. Do you have a preference? What are your thoughts with the different styles that continue to come out of animation?
Yeah, I definitely do watch a lot of anime. I feel like the river runneth dry until like fall anime season, and now I'm like drowning in it, so it's great. But I definitely prefer like the classic 2D style, and then if I can't have that, then I'm fine with having some like CGI enhancements. I think like going full CG, it can work, and I've seen it work. Like I watched the Dragon Ball superhero movie, our Dragon Ball superheroes movie, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that what they were able to do with the
Love the
CGI,
movie, but the name isn't that
yeah,
good.
yeah, the name is I could have thought about that one a little bit more, but I think that I really liked what they did with it, even though it's like, if they could have done the whole movie in 2D, there wouldn't have been any complaints from me. But what I did like is that they were very intentional, like the shots that they used and the way that they like shaded the characters to make it almost feel as if it was imitating 2D. And in like certain frames, I felt like it was very like almost felt like there was like a 2D scene that was playing out.
Jamie, but it did. It just the name wasn't the best. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, yeah, I definitely agree. I like the movie. The name just needed a little bit of work, but to that regard, I do feel like CGI, just like completely CGI anime, kind of got a bad rep because when it was first being done, I don't think that it was an experiment. Like they didn't really know what they were doing at that time versus 2D. Like we've had 2D animation for like years and years now, so they pretty much like figured out that game, and even still they're like adding more things to it, but they have a solid foundation. With CGI or like fully CGI or like 3D anime, they haven't like quite figured out what they want to do, and it always seems like they're leading towards making it CG, but then trying to fool people into thinking it's 2D.
Yeah,
And I
which
feel like,
at that point might as well play a video game, right?
right. I'm like, I feel like the studios that have really had success with this have just fully admitted to themselves, like, hey, we're working with a 3D project. Therefore, we're going to do things that we couldn't do as easily in 2D, or things that would take way too long in 2D, and really take advantage of that. I feel like that is a type of 3D anime that I've seen that has been successful and hasn't been trying to give me the best of two worlds and giving me none of it. I would rather them, if you have to work with 3D, whether it's like a budgetary restraint or you just don't want to put the artist through like some type of stress for whatever the project is, I think you can make 3D work, in my opinion.
What animes would you say that you've seen that it works in the CGI portion of it, for example? If you can think of one on top of your head. I mean, you mentioned DB Dragon Ball Superhero.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the Netflix anime I've seen have been
Yeah.
they lean towards the 3D. Like I know Tekken Bloodline, that was a like a CGI
And that actually
anime.
looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And I wonder, but then I don't know, maybe that one works because the roots of it is CGI characters. Like the root of it is that game, so it has that blocky feel or sense, right, of hyper realistic 3D.
Right. Yeah.
So what about see, Leo dropping bombs here.
Yeah.
Yes, Beastars is definitely a great example of that. Very, 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 very good example. A lot of people hate the movies, but I think that one of the earlier projects that was in the right direction, though not perfect, were the Berserk movies. I think the Berserk movies...
Fuck no.
First of all, I'm not saying they're great, but in the year that it came out, it was a step in the right direction in terms of attempting to do a CGI adaptation.
No.
I'm not saying it's good, Isaac. I'm talking about the animation as attempting to do CGI.
No.
Okay. Are you judging the animation or are you judging the story?
The animation.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Since you're so aggressive. What are your thoughts in this debate or in this topic? What are your thoughts?
When it comes to CGI, I think my preference is when it supplement to. Sorry, Mike, but when it comes to Berserk, I just feel like that series deserves so much better, and the animation in the 3D in the CGI versions are just downright horrible. That Berserk deserves a total reboot, so to speak, with good 2D animation with supplemented CGI when needed.
Gotcha. And it's funny because so it's interesting because I'm kind of like right down the middle, right? Because personally, what I love about anime is that it has this ability of capturing a mangaka's signature, right? Because no mangaka draws the same. Some of the best anime, yes, feels different, right? Or feels very similar. Especially shonen animes tend to have very different very particular same character models. But then you have certain authors that, for example, one of the best examples and one of the most popular examples, Isayama's drawing style is very particular for Attack on Titan. The way he draws eyes, the way he draws faces, the way he draws hair, the way he draws hands, like a lot of those things are very particular that anybody that sees it, that has read the book, knows that's Isayama, right? And what I find interesting is that when you go full CGI, right, you kind of lose the ability to transfer that signature from the book, Does that make sense? Because the tools that you would use to create that figure in a CGI model are not the same that you would use when you're trying to do a digital art. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of fall in the middle, because at the same time, it's some CGI, like what you mentioned with DBC Superheroes, not DBZ, DBS. So damn it, the superhero movie from Dragon Ball. I've seen the character models, and at first it's striking because I'm a Dragon Ball Z guy. Like I really haven't seen Super. I really haven't. I saw a little bit of GT. So when I see superhero, it's kind of shocking and jarring, but I still recognize the characters. Like they made it important for them to. They made sure that it felt like Dragon Ball. Does that make sense? That you can see Toriyama's signature. Like the eyes is a big Akira thing. Akira Toriyama, the eyes is a big thing. The ears is a big thing for him as well. The type of hair is a big thing in the way he draws, right? That a lot of other characters and other mangakas don't have those same things as him. So the idea of using 100% CGI, I think it's good if done right, like you mentioned, Jamie, with, for example, the Dragon Ball movie, but it kind of runs the risk of losing that artistry, which is what makes animation so beautiful. You know what I mean? But at the same time, for me, good one, Leo. You caught me on the spot. Damn it. But for me, I'm going to go with Cell Saga.
Ooh, yes.
Because I love Gohan. Gohan is my top G. Like, Gohan is my guy. And the entirety of the training arc and the hyperbolic time chamber, his whole story is... Because at the end of the day, nobody can deny whether Dragon Ball Z is Gohan's story. They just stopped telling it in reality, right? Because the first arc is all about Goku protecting Gohan. After Goku dies with defeating Raditz, it's all about Gohan being trained by Piccolo. So DBZ is really Gohan's story. They just stopped telling it after he grows up for some reason. Probably because it probably was like a Wally West, Barry Allen thing. People just wanted Goku back.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
would say the exact same thing. Gohan is also my favorite character. So Cell Saga is my favorite as well.
Masenko. But yeah, so that's my call, Leo. Thank you. Oh, see, we all unite in greatness, Leo. That's the way it works. That's it. So yeah, that's how I feel. But the thing that I love the most about animation, which I love about anime also, which is why I mentioned the Berserk movies, Isaac, is that...
Sorry, but Berserk is one of the how should I put it? One of the most important mangas that hasn't gotten its true due in animation. Even though the original is far superior, it's still, how should I put it? Yeah, in short, it's the one manga that deserves so much better, especially with how much the creator has inspired stuff. I mean, if, for example, the design of Cloud's sword, that's Gus. The Elden Ring has a ton of Berserker inspiration.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah, I can see that.
You name it. I mean, there is... I can talk Berserker for hours, if not more. So that's it's a series that deserves more love than just some CG movies that...
Well, the way I see it, I enjoyed them because they were my introduction to Berserk, introduction to that world. Now,
read the manga.
I get it, Isaac. But what I'm trying to say is that they're easy to digest. The art is interesting. But more importantly, I found that world interesting because they do portray the world proper for me. But that's a different story. But what I'm trying to say, and the reason I mentioned that movie, is because to me, what makes anime so special is that it's super different. It's so versatile. Like you never see a show that looks the same. You never see a episode or abilities that look the same. Some series are deliberate ripoffs, yes, but there's more variety than there is lack of variety. Does that make sense? And that also goes for animation. So I hope that, like, the reason I wanted to bring this topic over was also because what I wouldn't want is for CGI to be the future of anime. That's my fear. Because, for example, they're not only pushing more CGI throughout generations or whatever, but one of the biggest symbols in anime is getting a complete CGI movie after being retired for a long time, which is Trigun. They're bringing it back. They're remaking it in CGI, which I think is a very bold move. It looks amazing, but it's a bold move. And I kind of don't want that to be the future. Like, to be the only thing that we see, because I think we'll lose more than we gain. But I like that we have it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I don't feel like they'll
Agreed.
ever just completely, like, 100% drop 2D animation, because there's just so much. Like, I feel like even the artists that are creating the 2D animation, even though a lot of them work some hellish hours, like, they still are super happy with, like, the product that comes out of it. And I don't know if you'll be able to get the same thing out of 3D. Like, you can come close to it. At least I don't feel like in this point in time, like, we'll see in the future. But even then, it's like, when, like, the art renaissance first happened, people were using, like, oil and paint and all this other stuff, and now we've moved to digital, but, like, people still use those mediums, so somebody will still use it, even if it's, like, no longer mainstream. There's a lot of, like, indie projects that happen all the time that easily usurp things just because people get tired of doing the same thing, or even in video games, like, playing the same thing all the time.
That's a good point. And I love how you mentioned that a lot of these artists love the product that they're putting out there. But also I love how they're finding ways to make 2D animation feel new.
Right.
And most of the work that Cloverworks, Kinema Citrus, Bones, and MAPPA specifically, I would say, the way they handle light and atmosphere in their series is very brilliant. Like, one of the things that you couldn't do before is you couldn't do a 360 shot in a 2D animated anime before. Right. But they've used the tools of CGI to make that happen within a CGI world, within a 2D animated world, which is brilliant, which is one of the most brilliant things. And they actually just did that on Spy Family on this episode that we're going to discuss in a little bit. Segue. But yeah, I agree. It's actually pretty awesome. It's a great conversation. I mean, it's interesting how the anime landscape is constantly evolving. But I also like how throughout the years they still find ways to translate those touches from the mangaka to the animated spectrum. And I hope that doesn't change, because a book like Chainsaw Man, right? Which, I don't know if you've read Chainsaw Man, Jamie.
I've read a little bit of it. I'm getting there.
So, but Tatsuki's art is very particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very particular, very gory, but also very realistic, very humanistic also, his approach to the characters. And I love how when you look at the trailer for Chainsaw Man, everything that you read on the page is there. And that's kind of what I love. That you get the anime is always an extension of what you read as opposed to something completely different.
Right.
Which is what I find interesting with the whole Trigun thing. But then again, Trigun already had an amazing anime, and it's just getting a new take on it, which kind of justifies them doing it differently. But I don't know, guys. Animation is awesome. We love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Any more on this, guys? Isaac?
Well, first off, I want to apologize for my rant about the
Don't
berserker
apologize.
thing. because that's I just feel that that's a show that deserves more.
If you could have a studio do Berserk, which one?
I know it's generic, but I say Mappa.
Yeah, I would say Mappa or what's the Mappa or IG or Production IG. And I only say that because whether you love the movie or not, Isaac, for the time that End of Evangelion came out and the little bits that I've seen of the new Evangelion movies, it looks pretty cool.
You mean your studio made your favorite movie of all time, Neon Genesis Evangelion?
You're a horrible person, Isaac.
I know.
Now, for some reason, we're putting ideas on Mike's head. Just because they brought Goku back, maybe we can bring Naruto back and Boruto. I don't know, guys. You guys hate Boruto way too much. But then again, it's fine because we all love Naruto. But they've done a lot of cool stuff with Naruto in the Boruto series. So should we be complaining? I mean, should we? I mean, if anything, we should complain that they killed Kurama. Spoilers, but you know.
Oh.
That's how I feel. Oh my God. Okay, so guys, awesome topic. Let's go to the other main part of the show. Let's segue into that. I spoke of a scene, which I think is a good way of talking about the animation but we're going to talk about a particular show that's amazing. Another great show that came back in fall. Guys, let's get back into Spy Family, episode 14. Disarm the time bomb. Disarm the time bomb. We want yes, Mike. Yes. Step on Isaac.
Yes, please.
But we're back with Spy Family, guys. Spy Family, episode 14, Disarm the Bomb. What a great second episode. Another season that's firing on all cylinders. I love spending time with the Forgers more than drinking coffee. Now, Jamie, I heard that you kind of like Spy Family. I don't know how much, but I think you're about to tell us.
I know, only a little bit. I actually I got into the wrong stream by mistake. I'm actually I really do like Spy Family. I like Spy Family quite a bit. I feel like I don't know. I feel like the past few anime seasons there have been like a lot that I'm like, oh, okay, that was cool, but only a few where I'm like, oh my God, like I am waiting with bated breath for the next episode. And Spy Family was definitely one of those shows. Last anime season, so I'm really happy to see it return.
Yeah.
And I really loved this episode and like adding the like Mr. Puppers or
Mr. Dog.
Mr. Dog. Mr. Dog as this new character that Anya can kind of relate to in a way, which is cool. And I also like that they're just like starting the series off with a bang with like immediate action and tension and actually like removing Lloyd from the situation. So Anya and Yor have to kind of figure things out for themselves.
I love how you said that they started the season with a bang and it's all about a bomb. I found that.
No pun intended.
Isaac, you should be proud.
I'm always proud when people make puns. You should know that by now.
Yes. So I think what I love the most about Spy Family, it's the fact that, and I've said it multiple times, but I think this is the best description that I can think of now, after saying it too many times, is that Spy Family has kind of this sitcom energy to it, right? Like when you go, you don't care what's happening. You just care that you're spending time with these characters. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I kind of get that. They're all fun, very particular, very unique. And this particular episode, I think, was just brilliant. Because everything that occurs with the characters, I love how they have set the rules of who these characters are. They're constantly lying to themselves because they can't really tell people who they are. They can't tell each other who they really are. But they still find ways to get around that makes sense. I love that they don't think that the audience is stupid. Like, they really try to make it feel believable. Like, this is the kind of show that to a degree, it kind of works whether we do an animation or a live action, but the animation is just perfect and great and hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, I love one of the things that I love about this episode in particular is I love how for some reason, so Lloyd leaves to take a shit apparently. Last episode, right? And he's dealing with everything with Wise and trying to protect the minister and to do all these things, right? And the funniest thing is that inadvertently, not on purpose, Yor and Anya find a way to get involved in the whole thing that Lloyd's doing without Lloyd knowing. like he's trying to keep them away from the truth of what he does or what he's trying to do, and they inadvertently end up in the middle of it anyway. I love that kind of Three Stooges kind of thing. It's like old-fashioned vaudeville, right? Like comedy. Like, oh, they just ended up in the thing. Do you like that dynamic of them just like rolling into situations and then just seeing how they play out?
Yeah, for me, absolutely. I love how like it doesn't feel like it was like forced and like, oh, they
Right.
needed to be in a certain place, so let's just like push them along so that way we can keep the story moving. Like it felt really natural, like they were looking for a dog. And then it just so happens that the terrorists are using dogs to get the bombs planted across the city. Like it was the perfect way to still include them in the plot without actually having them like directly involved in like what Lloyd is doing.
So, Isaac, you love plot convenience. And I know you do because you like JoJo. But
No comment.
But one of the things that I was thinking about when I was analyzing this episode is one of the things that I like is that there's plot convenience that ruins the flow and ruins the enjoyment of the story, right? It happens all the time, right? Like, it's the time of plot convenience. Oh, but this guy has plot armor. Like, nothing feels believable anymore, so it kind of loses enjoyment, right?
Yeah.
So I like how they find ways to make plot convenience exist, but not at the expense of the characters. Like, they find a way to make everything seem very convenient, but you enjoy the characters so much, and you enjoy how they're reacting to everything so much that you kind of don't care. Like, it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, something so easily that could be like, oh, that's very convenient, but you never find yourself thinking about that until you actually think about it, because you're having too much fun. Like you said, they're going to get a dog, and suddenly there's two dogs there. That's plot convenience. Out of nowhere, the dog sees the future. That's plot convenience. And out of nowhere, she's able to say. By the way, I did find it hilarious that Anya was smart enough to be able to think about the toilet paper and to say something to Yor to run away. That was, by the way, Anya was perfect comedy these last two episodes. It was great. It was great. Did you have a favorite Anya moment in this episode, Jamie?
I feel like something that just like immediately made me like bust out laughing. I had to pause before I like missed everything that was happening. Was when it was actually at the very beginning of the episode when Yor came to go rescue Anya, and she was like, "You're not gonna get married to my daughter, you pervert!" And she's like, "Yay, mommy!" And then the dog like tries to jump at Yor, and Yor just starts growling back and like makes this really scary grimacing face, and Anya's face just drops like, "Mom, I'm scared again!" Like, oh my god. I thought that was super funny, and I like. I don't know what the show would be like without Anya.
In the manga, she points out that she's afraid of Yor, not the villains. Then,
yeah, she is like one of my favorite reasons for like coming back to the show. Is like she just brings something so refreshing to like the anime, and just like as far as like kids in anime are concerned, I feel like they're usually either like disregarded or just annoying. And to see that Anya, you know, like I feel like she has her annoying moments, but that she also brings like laughter and levity to it. I really love her character.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there was a moment in the show that highlights something that's rung true throughout the entirety of the first core and this one. And one of the reasons why I love Anya as a character, and I love how Endo, the creator, has built these characters, is because all these characters were built a certain way, presented a certain way, and he never tries to change them to fit the story. Right? They're always the same characters, and they have like this particular development as the story goes. And one of the things that I was reminded when Anya goes into the room through the little window and sees the bomb on the door, right?
Mhm.
And she looks at everything and she goes, but wait, I don't know how to disarm a bomb.
Yeah.
Like that moment makes you go like, wait, she's just a child. I love how the show acknowledges
Right.
how
I
much.
was
Yeah.
half expecting her to like try to disarm it.
Yes, yes. It's like I love how it doesn't pull a Hail Mary. Oh, she's out of nowhere gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
And that's another moment where the plot convenience doesn't ruin the character, because that allowed her to solve it the way a child would.
Mhm.
And I love how she's thinking about what is it? What's the name of the show that she wants? Bando Man or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she's looking at the wires. Oh, always on TV. So we're looking at the roots of the character, that she loves all these spy shows and all that stuff, right? And she goes like, okay, normally when I see this, they cut the blue wire or the red wire. Oh no, they're all black. So it was hilarious, and I love the fact that she felt small. And it hurt, but at the same time, it's like, wow, we are acknowledging that this is a child. That not only that, there's a lot of deep stuff going where she's trying to avoid rejection from her stepdad, because she's been rejected all her life. Like there's a lot of stuff going on here, that there's so many threads to pull that make it feel so real and grounded. And then suddenly, like a kid, because the thing about kids that's so interesting is that their emotions can change with a single slip of the switch, right? Depending on what happens. They're very excitable. And Anya has all those qualities, which is why I liked your description, Jamie, of sometimes annoying and sometimes awesome. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
some kids, something with the kids tends to be like that. But I love the fact that then she sees the ketchup bottle and she goes to do this stupid, crazy. And the funny thing is, when they find it, and she's thinking about it, did they see my message covered and made by blood?
Yeah.
Because she knows that they use ketchup as pretend blood. She knows it's not blood, but it's like, I love how she doesn't have to stop to be a child to serve the story. She's who she is as a character, integral to the story, and that's what makes it work and so funny.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that she actually she made a smart choice, because I feel like a lot of like portrayals of children in anime, like they're just dumb, and they're either dumb and they just do the wrong thing most of the time, or they're
Right.
incredibly intelligent, like far surpasses the intelligence of an
Hyper
adult, and they're just
intelligent, right.
able to figure everything out. So I love the fact that even though she was very eager, like you were saying, as a kid would be, and like almost attempted to try and disarm this bomb herself, she realized, actually, I haven't received that part of my training manual yet. Let me
Yes.
go ahead and
Yes.
let Daddy know that there's a bomb in here.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it was gonna go wrong anyway. And I also find it stupid, but also it's a suspension of disbelief, right? That Lloyd couldn't really tell, because I think you would assume Lloyd has hung out with Anya enough that he kind of knows what her drawings look like. You know what I mean? I would assume. But at the same time, he's still but he's in spy mode. So for some reason, when he's in spy mode, he cannot think like a real person. So he can't really, you know what I mean?
To be fair, with kids' drawings, it's not particular. You don't have a particular, how should I put it, distinct style, depending on. You will have to be a gifted child to have some recognizable traits in that age.
No, I know. But what I mean is the knowledge that he has from Anya tends to be technical, as opposed to knowing Anya. That is something that he's still learning, right? So like sometimes you can see a type of drawing and have an idea, but and also like as a spy at the level that he is, you kind of figure like, and I know we've all thought it. Hey man, you sure you can't put one or two together? Like, like we don't have to read people's minds to know. Hey man, that's probably. But I get what you're saying, Isaac. There's true in that. But I love how he goes. I have a bad feeling about this, and then of course he sees the bomb or whatever. It was super awesome. And then of course after that, Lloyd as the freaking minister. That was hilarious.
His dude is supposed to be 60. What the hell?
That was awesome. That was like Mission Impossible comedy on steroids. I wasn't expecting the cliffhanger though. How did you guys feel with the cliffhanger? Like, did he shoot the dog? Does he not shoot the dog? We have to wait a week to find out. I think he was trying to shoot the transmitter, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what he was going for. What do you think, Jamie? You think he was shooting the dog or the transmitter?
I feel like he was probably going for the transmitter. I don't know. I feel like we've seen some situations with him where, you know, even acting as a spy, or I guess just like the hero of the day, he tries to be careful with like the people that he's around and not really trying to put anybody in any more danger that they have to be.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping the dog I'm hoping the dog's all good and it's just the transmitter.
Yeah, I'm hoping that too. Now, the last little bit that I would like to discuss, because I don't know if you guys noticed it, and it just blew my mind, which is the best kind of evolution that you kind of want on a show like this, and it's the fact that the way they grow the world and expand it is by introducing new characters, which again, that's how every show does it. But I love how, you know how sometimes you have a show that introduces a character and then you don't see them for like a season, or you don't see them, or they're there for just one arc and that's it, right? Mm-hmm. Like the fact that we see Yor's brother again, but in a fashion that has nothing to do with the family. I love that he's part of the world now. So suddenly the world feels bigger. Like the dog is part of the world now, and that feels bigger. The handler, we're seeing a lot more of her now. So now the world is bigger. Mm-hmm. So I love how I want to see
four dominatrix in the same season. What is?
Oh, by the way, yes, that moment where she's like trying to get information from these people. Holy shit. She's a badass.
Yeah, she was scary.
Yeah. You know who she reminds me, Isaac? She reminds me of Madame Helsing.
Yes.
Yes. Like she has that presence. What was her name? Like Virginia or Victoria Helsing or whatever her name is?
It
was a long name.
Virginia Helsing, I think it was. Virginia Victoria. Oh.
Yeah, but she's great. She's great. And I kind of
If you haven't seen Helsing Ultimate, I recommend it, Jamie, although it's kind of brutal.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing a little bit of it when I was in middle school, and my brother was watching it, and I'm like, oh my god, like what are you doing? Like, what are you watching? That looks so violent. He's like, oh, it's good. And then I don't think I ever revisited it, so it's definitely something I have to add back to my list.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, the Helsing Ultimate is the best one. And it's like 10 movies, but they're all like an hour and a half. Imagine watching Sherlock, the BBC series, in binge. That's kind of like Helsing feels like, but they're pretty good. It's pretty good. It's great for Halloween too.
True.
But yeah, I love how the world's expanding. I love the whole scene with the handler. I also like how they're kind of alluding the deep ties that she has with Twilight. So I'm really kind of excited to see where that goes. I don't know. I love these characters. I love this show.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Isaac, anything else on Spy Family episode 14?
Well, that it's hard to say that because I read the manga compared to you guys, but it's all I can say is read the manga. I mean, facepalm, but it's getting late. I have a good excuse, but what I'm trying to say is it's just a fantastic adaptation so far.
So
Yeah.
this was another episode that hit it out of the park in the
Yeah.
adaptation department. Awesome.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Mirko took the lead in draining my concentration, and your took what's left. My
Wow. Wow. So Jamie, any other thoughts on Spy Family season 14? Episode 14.
No, I mean, I feel like we thoroughly covered everything. I just really enjoyed this episode and loved the action and getting to know Mr. Dog a little bit better. He has like
Yeah.
such a cute character design. I'm like, oh my god,
Yes.
I love him so much.
Yes.
And yeah, I actually really loved getting to see like Yor interact with Anya by herself a little bit more outside of like the amazing training montage that we got in season 1. And
Yeah.
her actually like trying to parent on her own. I also really enjoyed that. And so I'm just excited to see what's gonna come up next.
I want to see more Yor. I feel
Yeah.
that even though we've seen a little bit, we really haven't gotten a good dose of Yor this core yet, and I hope that's coming. But also about the parenting thing, I love how she's learning and how she's viewing her role in this family.
Yeah.
So I do like that. I did find it interesting that she kept calling Mr. Doug a puppy when he's huge. I don't
Yeah.
think, like he keeps calling him a puppy, but he's huge. I don't think he's a puppy.
I do that sometimes with big dogs. Like, oh, it's such a cute puppy. I don't know. I feel like it's just like a lover of dogs kind of thing. But I will say something else. Speaking of like wanting to see more of Yor, I kind of want to know more about like how she got into becoming an assassin, because I don't think we've seen her do
Yes.
like any assassin like things since early on in season 1. So I'm
Agreed.
definitely looking forward to that.
You're saying the right things, Jamie. More Yor.
so
Going
you want
back-
to drain me completely?
Wow.
Yes, I'm off the rocket today. I apologize, Jamie.
So guys, we've done it. We've talked about Spy Family, episode 14, Disarm the Bomb. Another phenomenal episode of this phenomenal show. Can't wait to come back to cover it in 2 weeks. As you guys know, Chainsaw Man and Bleach will be premiering this week. They're coming out. Chainsaw Man is, correct me if I'm wrong, Isaac. Chainsaw Man is on Tuesdays and Bleach is on Mondays, correct?
Bleach
Oh,
is
wow.
tomorrow at 4 a.m. my time, if I'm not mistaken, and I can't recall when Chainsaw Man is.
Awesome.
But
they're
it's
coming.
Monday and Tuesdays, yes.
So, as you guys know, with our new format, next week, next Sunday on The Big Show, we will be covering the premiere of Chainsaw Man, and we will be covering the premiere of Bleach, the 1,000-year-old blood war. So stay tuned. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Make sure you click on the like button, and make sure you click on the bell for notifications so you don't miss any single episode of the Amateur Otaku. Guys, thank you for joining us for this amazing live stream. Jamie, you've been an awesome guest. Thank you for being with us. I really hope you're able to join us again with more Spy Family awesomeness. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It's been really fun talking about it with you guys.
Awesome. If people wanted to find you in the webs, if you have any work stuff going on, where can people find you?
Definitely at Swipeart for Twitter info, and it also has like a link to my link tree. I stream and post videos on YouTube as well. So
Awesome.
there's a whole bunch of places, but yeah, Twitter is definitely the easiest place to find all that stuff.
Awesome. Isaac, my brother, where can people find you?
Well, first and foremost, since we are rounding down this episode, I thought we should check the poll, and now instead, and Jar got 40% of the votes, and Mirko got 60% of the votes, and it was 10 people voting. So
The rabbit wins by a thigh.
yes.
Awesome. So Isaac, where can people find you, brother?
Well, you can find my work at Wobum Entertainment, and you can find me at Emblemaniac on Twitter.
And you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter. And you can find the podcast at Amateur Otaku Pod. Guys, have it awesome. Stay awesome. Keep watching anime. See you next week. Peace.
See ya.
Peace.